Hi, and welcome to Coach's Corner, where systems matter and both personal and professional learning and development is beneficial for everyone and essential for some. As always, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the notification bell. Let's get started.
And then a second one that you do is north, south, east, west.
Yeah.
And what is that?
You know, we say look across from the north, look across at the south, the east, the west, and then you'll know, because usually the north and the south, they'll get each other because they complete each other, as Jerry Maguire would say. So that means that me as a north with the west, sometimes I want to punch them in the face.
Right.
And with the east, I definitely want to punch them in the face because they're slow.
Yeah.
Right. They need to think about it. But, and I'll tell you more depending on what you ask me, but just put out a little bit. But it's what I tell people when we get to after Incredible Individual, when you start doing your buddy or your teammate thing.
Yeah.
We say, look, it's not personal, it's personality.
Right.
And that helps a lot of people. I mean, just by saying that one thing.
Right.
Because I'd say, look across from you. I said, they're either so diametrically opposed from you that you hate them.
Right.
Or they're so different from you, you love them, you're gravitated because it completes you. I said, now look at your own group. So there's 4 people in the north.
Yeah.
You guys will be on your highest highs together, but your lowest lows will be bad because you're too close to each other.
Right.
So 2 norths in the same room and they're bad, oh boy.
Yeah.
Right? But 2 norths, when they're synergizing and going, woo!
Right.
Yeah, that's home run city, baby.
Yeah, and then I also remember that you were either going to be in northeast or northwest.
Yeah,
You're never going to be in north and south.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. You're never going to be, all in one. And the other thing is, look, here's the fact of the matter. You may be the most chilled, docile creature this side of the Mississippi. We'll call it Susan, your mom.
Yes.
And let's say she's a complete south. But in a car accident,
right,
she could become a leader like this.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you call 911. Right? I mean, so it's not like, but that's more the tendency of how you roll.
Right.
Unless there's, again, that circumstance that says I got to do something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then another one that you do, I don't know, maybe you don't want to talk about this one, was the gift assessments.
Yeah. I love that one.
That's my favorite one, yeah.
Yeah, mine too. So we were in with, I don't know, I was attending the church deal, and they had this whole thing series, and part of it was spiritual gift assessment.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I don't know, people that know the Bible, I forget what it is, but 28 gifts of the Spirit. So the fruit of the Spirit, everybody can have. Love, joy, peace, kindness, da-da-da-da. But the gifts will be different, right? So like what we talked about earlier, is that universal?
Yeah.
Or is that whatever? And so they brought in and you answered these questions.
Yeah.
And then it gave you a raw score. And then it was like, 18, I think 21 was the highest. So 18 in A. And then you'd go look at A and it'd say the gift of administration.
Right.
And then you'd have a definition and you'd read it. Mm-hmm. And then you'd go, oh, like that's me, right? And so what would happen is that, like, I know in my case, I'm usually off the charts on those tests one way or another. I'm either a 1 or a 21, right? And I had, the 3 or 4, leadership, wisdom, different things like that. And so, that's what you're great at. That's what you can bring to the table. Know thyself.
Yeah.
So, hey, I can bring this to the table. And so it starts to really narrow you to a point where you're like, huh, because, I didn't know all that. And then people that are either agnostic or atheist or, believe in other religions, we would just say, hey, if it says, if you were to, if the question was, hey, if you were to build a church, we would just say, hey, if you were to build a building, right? So that way it wasn't offensive to anybody because it would still give you the same results in the end. Right. Yeah, and now you're going, whoa. Well, now what? If I'm the boss of the whole organization and I got 30 people and I know this guy's a visual learner, this guy's an auditory learner. Yeah. Not that I'd always play to that, but I'd try to do it all at once. So I'd always be on the board writing. Right. The auditory, we're going to do whatever. There's the kinesthetic learner. Yeah. So I would say, hey, kinesthetics, make sure you're fiddling with something. Yeah. Right? Are you partially that?
Yeah, or visual and kinesthetic.
Yeah, so right. So make sure, those are the people that are doodling.
Yeah.
And you're like, why are you doodling? Pay attention. No, they need to do that. You know, we used to say that in the classroom when we were teaching. Like, don't get mad at them, you idiot. They're listening just fine.
Yeah.
You need to understand the way that they learn.
Right.
Well, here's your gift. So now, you know, if we need somebody as, you know, an administrator, hey, Jill, we have this new project. So I want Jill, Bob, Fred, and Ethel, because as a team goes, as you well know, you want the leader, you want the da-da-da, right?
Yeah.
And so it makes it easier to understand. And then when you start, and not just themselves, remember,
Right.
and then when you start talking about others, then it's not like such a bad deal. It's like, oh, well, that's just how Jill rolls.
Right.
Which, you know, they shouldn't be upset with me because this is how I roll. I'm not going to be upset with them.
Right.
So it clears a lot of the air up pretty quickly.
Yeah. That's funny. And then, do you want to talk about the E and the O?
Yeah, that was actually part of that.
Okay.
So they would do the same thing. It was only like 5 questions for each. And the E was, how are you energized?
Okay.
And then how are you organized? And then, you know, they had it in a graph, so it was a square, you know, and then it was a basic cross or, you know, whatever in the middle. And then you just did, you know, like back in the day, you do math and you'd go, okay, it was 42 and, you know, 7, and you'd put the dot there, just like Battleship or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it would explain how you were energized and how you were organized. And so that was the E and O, and then going across was the people. I haven't done it for a while, so I might screw up.
Yeah.
But like in this corner, you were task oriented and you know, and people, whatever.
Yeah.
Or over in this corner, you're more focused on the people. And I was interesting because I was off the chart as usual, and I was very task oriented. But I did it for the people.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, dude, you got problems. I go, tell me about it. I'm freaking atypical. Watch the doggone Netflix.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a really cool. It was real simple, easy.
Mm-hmm.
The other one they did that you probably don't, I don't know if I did I'm sure I did, but it wasn't as formal. They said, what are your passions?
Mm-hmm.
And so it would say, you know, children, marriages, right? They give you ideas around it.
Right.
And then it was also, there was your purpose and then your passion.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you started putting all this together, you know, along with the drawing and what you already kind of thought about yourself, you either figured out really fast, like, yeah, I'm way off base of who I, you know, like you talked about, or, yeah, I'm right in line, baby.
Right.
So either way, you win out of these things because it'll tell you who you are one way or another.
Yeah.
And there's no wiggle room out of it.
Right.
It's like, dude, you can't sing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to tell you, but you can't sing a lick.
Yeah.
So, you know, you sing all you want in the shower, but you ain't going to make a profession out of it.
Yeah. And then there's another one that you do, which is the last one we'll talk about, which is figuring out if you're a phlegmatic, sanguine, melancholic, and I forget the last one.
Sanguine, choleric.
That was when I said choleric.
And that runs similar lines to the north, south, east, west. And I don't remember, there was a book that came out. It was a Christian book, and they did this.
Oh, okay.
And I don't remember what book it was, but it was really cool because you could, teach off of it, and stuff. And so the cleric was the leader, right? The sanguine was kind of the used car salesman. Josh, his buddy Josh. Sell ice. That was our Malik.
Yeah.
Either one of those two fools, right? They're funny. They're goofy. They're that kind of person, and they would be over on the side.
Okay.
The phlegmatic again would be like the south.
Chill.
Yeah, my wife. I'm like, honey, do you have a heartbeat? Right? She just chilled. And then you have the melancholic, which is not melancholy, like super talented. Usually like in art. Yeah. God. So somebody's super talented at sports but usually it's like music, like creativity type stuff.
Yeah.
But it could be sports as well. So grandma, she's a big time melancholic. She's very talented in a lot of areas, but she could sing like an angel. She can, she's not very good at sports. Hey, did I tell you about that story she told me? So, same thing. She was coaching 6th grade.
Yep.
And they were doing the relay. And she was like, dude, we finished. Like this, no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, we don't play around here. You're going to, you're trying to win, blah, blah, blah. And the girl took the baton.
Yeah,
her finger was sticking straight up.
Oh.
and she finished the race. Yeah. But that's, you know, if you could teach somebody that mentality, they're going to win in life. Yeah. Absolutely. She came in, her fingers like, you know, it's like sticking up.
So let's say, you know, you've done everything. You've questioned yourself.
Yeah.
You've talked to others.
Yeah.
You've taken these assessments.
Yes.
And you've come to the conclusion, I don't like myself.
Yeah.
I am an alcoholic. I am addicted to something, right?
Yeah.
Where do you go? What do you do?
Got to start going to work, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, I listened to hundreds and thousands of sermon tapes. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, I listened to hundreds and thousands of self-help tapes. Okay. I listened to, right? So go back to patterns of change. I was seeking out knowledge and I was applying these things. Vision board. Oh, I don't know who told me that. So I did that. Yeah. I'm like, oh, that works pretty good. Right. So you just keep, you know, you just start, you know, learning. Yeah. Find a mentor. Right. Yeah. Find somebody who's systemic. Mm-hmm. Makes it so much easier. Find, you know, go to YouTube, go to Core, but don't be the knowledge monster. We used to have this thing when I was in the insurance business. We did a skit and we said, okay, and it won't be the great visual, but you'll get it. So we said, okay, you go stand over there and you get a book, right? And so you go, this person, you just go grab somebody, recruit them, right? And so this guy, we're going to give you another book. And we said, you two, you go over there and get 2 more. So by the end, if there was 100 people or 500 people in the room, there's one over here with 19,000 books called The Knowledge Monster. And this person over here had, you know, 100 or 500 people on their team. And so, as you know, in the insurance business with spreads, overrides, whatever, you get 5 people on your team, you're making 30, 50,000 before you get out of bed. Yeah. So you can imagine the 500. Right. But people would watch the skit and guess what they'd do? Freaking knowledge monster. Yeah, because they don't take the action. Right. You have to be able to, you know, ultimately take action on the knowledge. And that's why people would go, oh, knowledge is everything. I said, no, it's not. It's the implementation of knowledge, what I call know-how. Right. Go get it done. And if that doesn't work out, then figure out why and pivot. When it does work out, you know, celebrate, give yourself a Nick Xandas dance or, you know, whatever.
Yeah. Now, you know, they say change takes 21 days.
Yeah.
I think that when you have to change yourself, it probably takes a lot longer than that.
Yeah.
First, how tough is it to truly change yourself?
I mean, well, you know, let's ask you seriously right now. We'll put you on the spot. So I've been talking about me with weight loss, right? Mm-hmm. I'm getting my butt kicked. So what's something you would want to change?
How well I take ownership.
Okay. And do you currently do anything about it on a regular basis?
I would say no, I don't on a regular basis.
Okay. And so what's the chances of you being successful in that?
0.
Right. Now, I want to be very clear to the audience. If you know you have a problem, hi, I'm an alcoholic, hi, I want to take ownership, and you just go, I'm not doing anything with that, right? I know I need to quit cussing. Mm-hmm. I choose not to do anything about it right this second. Yeah. That's okay. I mean, it's not great, but okay. Mm-hmm. But just not knowing about it or worse, being in denial. Mm-hmm. Right? Because if you're in denial, then you got to uncover it. Then now we're back to square. Denial is like being in debt. Yeah. So then the question I would ask you is, well, how serious are you about taking ownership in things?
Well, I guess I'm not that serious because, I mean, I had to think about it. So well, it sounds good.
Yeah. Intentions. Yeah. Right? So I tell people all the time, hey, congratulations. You have great intentions. Mm-hmm. Big deal. It's like having the knowledge but not taking action. Intentions don't mean anything. It's the action. Right. And I loved it because with my, you know, I learned a lot of things, you know, as I was going. Because I think to be a great teacher, which I'm not saying that I am, but I think I'm a pretty good teacher, you have to be a great learner first. Yeah. And so I would learn along the way. So my 16 special day kids, man, we had to break it down to them, you know. And we had to break it down, and we used to talk a lot about the mindset first, right? Because what trick have they not been taught by the time they're in 7th, 8th grade? You know, how to read, chunk, da-da-da. Well, how did they go up They were all reading at a first grade level when I got them. Most of them.
Yeah.
Well, how did they start reading at a fifth grade level in 2 years when everybody else got them in the first 6 or 7 years to a first grade level?
Yeah.
Because we talked about their mindset. Well, how do we do that? I went to the best looking girls in school. I mean, these kids were retarded or Down syndrome. I don't know what the politically correct term is, so I apologize. I'm a caveman. I don't get out much either. But, Down syndrome, right? They were, a lot of them were on cat. I mean, there's just problems there. And so now all of a sudden, you're walking around with the best looking girl in school. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what happened? You get a little pep to your step.
Yeah.
Because even if you're not the sharpest tool in the shed, you figure out real fast she looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Or with the girls, I had them hang out, which was easy for me because I had all the jocks under lockdown, right? Because I was their coach.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm not doing that. I go, oh, really? Might want to right?
You're calling your mom or
yeah, I tell them just good luck to you on starting this year, right? They're like, come on, coach. I'm like, I'm kidding, but I'm not, right?
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden they're hanging out with them, and then now the kids that were the popular kids, they got to have some empathy and sympathy for it, right? So it worked both ways because usually, you think, oh, I'm doing this for them. You learn more, as that. But
if you need to contact Brett or Coach, please do so on his social media accounts, email, and or text. You can find that information in the description below. Again, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the notification bell. Thanks, and we hope you enjoyed.
Oh, gosh.
I thought that was pretty good.
That was a good one. That's the best one you've ever done.
Thank you.
23 years. Are you 23?
I am.
Is your brother 20?
In May.
In May. Jeez.